The Houston Texans got that six-pack. Hey, hold on. Let me get to this right quickly. There we go. Hey, what's going on, y'all? You're tuned to Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports, the Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you are subscribed to the Texas Tailgate Talk podcast and Big Sarge Media page on YouTube. All one word, Texas Tailgate Talk. Follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. No, thank you. Follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports, the Z at the end. Because you know we do everything for the gram. What's going on, good people? What's up, people on TikTok? I'm back. What's good? Ooh. Yeah, I should have turned that fan on, but that's something that I'm going to do at another time. What's going on, y'all? We're going to jump right into this thing. First of all, thank you all. Thank you for those of you all who were praying for me on Sunday. Man, y'all give me a second. I got to cut this fan on because it's going to get hot up. It's getting hot in here. Let's see. What does it mean? Seems like my mic came unplugged. Let me double check this. All right, we still good. We still good up in the hood. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? All right, so once again, thank you all, everybody who prayed for me on Sunday, December the 14th. For those of you all who know, and for those of y'all who don't know, so my brother who passed away at 17, his birthday is December the 14th. My mother passed away 7 years ago, December the 14th. And so, you know, it's kind of a hard day for me, you know. And it was crazy because I was so busy on Sunday working, covering the Texans. I was so busy covering the Texans that I realized, I looked up and I said, wait a minute. When I got home, I knew it was my brother's birthday, but I told my wife, I said, hey, today makes 7 years that my mom passed away. Instantly. Panic attack. Couldn't breathe. Thank God for my wife that she helped get me back to a normal state of mind. So thank you all for those of you all who prayed for me. On tonight, the Houston Rockets will take on the Denver Nuggets at 8:30. I think it's on, if I'm not mistaken, that game may be on NBC, if I'm not mistaken, but I think it's going to be a very good game because Tari Eason is scheduled to come back. Y'all know that Tari Eason has been out for a minute due with an oblique injury, which is crazy because it's one of the same things that they say that Derek Stingley Jr. is dealing with right now. But Coach D'Amico Ryan said today, Monday, that they're going to see how the week plays out. But Tari Eason is supposed to come back, which is going to be an added addition for the Houston Rockets team. Now they're just waiting on Dorian Finney-Smith to get healthy, and then they'll have some sort of similar some sort of normalcy for a real roster. So we're gonna wait and see how that happens. And hey, look, don't be surprised, y'all. Do not be surprised if you see Fred VanVleet back in the lineup by the end of the season. I'm just saying. You could see Fred VanVleet back in the Houston Rockets lineup by the end of the season. Let me fix this. There we go. What's up? Okay. So, hey, let's hop right into it. And before we do it, hey, I gotta say this. Look, this ain't even what I planned on talking about off the rip in the A block, but I'm gonna talk about it anyway. Let me tell y'all one of the reasons why y'all you have to listen to one reason you have to listen to Sports Talk with Big Sarge and the Texans Happy Hour and following me on all social media platforms. Let me tell you why. Because it ain't too many people in this market, and I'm talking about this Houston market, this local Houston market. It ain't gonna be too many people that's gonna tell it like a TI is, right? It ain't gonna be too many people. Shout out to the people. Shout out to my colleagues who are on the beat every day, who comes to practice, who comes to the press conferences, who's in the locker room. Shout out to them. No disrespect to them, but hey, look, Sarge be trying to tell y'all something, right? Sarge be trying to tell y'all something. And when Sarge be trying to tell y'all something, some of y'all listen and some of y'all don't. Let's just go ahead and get that thing out the way right now. Some of y'all listen and some of y'all don't. And for those of you all who listen, what I'm about to say right now, you already know. You already know. Like you can just feel it. You just waiting like, say it, Sarge. He ain't gonna say it. Say it, Sarge. He ain't gonna say it. I bet you ain't gonna even say it. Say it, Sarge. And for those of you all who don't know, here we go. I told you all that Jawar Jordan was a very good running back. Did I not? Did I not tell you all that? Did I not tell you that Jawar Jordan was a very good running back? Don't worry. I'll wait. I told you all that Jawar Jordan needed was an opportunity, right? All he needed was an opportunity to be able to get on the field and show what he can do. I told you all that. I told you all in training camp that Jawar Jordan was having one hell of a training camp. I told you that Jawar Jordan was having one hell of a training camp, and he looked a whole lot better. And when I interviewed him during training camp, we talked about how good he looked. We talked about how he's picking up Nick Caley's playbook, the things that he liked in Nick Caley's playbook. And I told you all he needed was an opportunity and a chance. And that young man has been through a lot. When I tell you he's been through a lot, like in the 2 years, his 2 years of being on this Houston Texans team, he's been through a lot. He's been cut, he's been brought back, he's been cut again. Last week they brought in another running back, Cody Schrader, I think, if I'm not, that's right, Cody Schrader. They brought him in, and Jawar beat him out in practice because they knew Nick Chubb wasn't going to be able to go, and they knew that they knew that Woody Marks was dealing with that ankle injury. And Woody Marks went into the blue medical tent 3 times on Sunday. So it was smart for the Texans. And I think that D'Amico Ryan said this on Sunday in his press conference, that they kept him out of the lineup, but they could have used him if they really needed him, but they really didn't need him. And so they kept him outside. I kept him out of the lineup and allowed Jawar Jordan to play the entire game. And so when you look at so it's funny because I talked to rookie left tackle Ariante Ursery on Sunday, And he was asked this before, and then I followed up on it about the way that the Texans run those toss sweeps to be able to get Woody Marks out in space and then let him do what he does. And so I asked him, did they have to change anything in the playbook when it came to Jawar? And he said, well, Woody is a beast on those outside tosses. He said, but so is Jawar. He said, so is Jawar. And if you go back and you look at the run, and I'm pretty sure on Tuesday's show, we'll go back and we'll take a look. I'll break down some of the film. We'll take a look at it. But if you go back and you look at the run, when he got to the second level and Buda Baker was in front of him, watch how he plants his right foot, takes off the other way, and just slips through the tackle and keep going. Now, I think somebody said in the chat, hold on. Tay, what's up, Tay? Tay says, wish he would have unhooked that trailer on that long run, though. So I asked him about that on Monday in the locker room. And he said that when he broke the run and he got out, he said all of a sudden, he said it felt like that monkey just jumped on my back. And he said it was because I hadn't been in pads, in like full pads in 2 years. He said, of course, we wear pads in practice, but wearing the pads and running the ball in the same game. He said it had been over 2 years since he's been in a regular game like that. He said, so when he broke the run, he said, I got a little tired. He said, but all I seen was end zone, and I was just trying to get there. Because what I asked him was, did he look and see that Nico was right in front of him, and was he trying to play off the block of Nico? He said, I was just trying to get to the end zone. He said, but he said, I got a little winded because it had been a while since I had been in those full pads. And he said that does make a difference, especially if you're not used to wearing them. But like, that young man has done nothing but kept his mind kept his mind straight, kept showing up every day, no matter, knowing that if he wasn't gonna get called up. That young man just came to play, and he's a young man that I've been talking to ever since he got drafted by the ever since he's been a part of the drafted and been a part of the Houston Texans. And it looks like he never has a bad day. And one of the things that I talked about with him on Sunday was, how he just kept his mind, how he kept his mind straight. And he said, I'm confident in myself, and I know what I can do. And I know if I'm given the opportunity, I know what I can do. He said when he spoke with his mom, his mom and his family, throughout the week, when there was an opportunity for him when he found out that there may be an opportunity for him to be able to play on Sunday, he just said, I spoke and talked with them with the same confidence I had since I was young. He said, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna do my best, I'm gonna give them my all, and I'm gonna make sure that they, that they see that I'm giving a real concerted effort to put my best on the field. He said, because opportunities like this don't come, every day. So I like if, how can I put this? With Nick Chubb dealing with that rib injury, and with Dare Ugabawale, being able to come in and play some snaps, but also he's a very, very, very vital part of the special teams. I like the 1-2 punch of Woody Marks, and Jawar Jordan. What is going on here? No, I don't. I'm sorry, y'all. Something is going on with my camera. My camera it looks like it keeps lagging. Maybe that has something to do with my with my internet. So I'll make sure that I have that fixed before we do another show. But like I said, I like the way that Jawar Jordan played on Sunday. And like I said, if you've been following this show, if you've been following me, the one thing that I said that is all that young man needs to do is get some type of space. And his ability to cut on a dime, his ability to get through the small spaces. Like, even if you go back and you look at the 50-yard run, when he got through there, like literally two defenders were going at him, and he was still able to squeeze through there and get out into the open field. I think I remember talking to him in training camp, and I asked him, because the one thing that stood out, and for those of you all who attended, oh yeah, Texans Tangent, oh yeah, I ain't forgot about him either. I'm gonna make sure. I think I had that wrote down, but let me go ahead and write that down right quick here too. But for those of you all who remember me talking about the way Jawar Jordan, the great camp that he was having earlier this year, I told you that his ability to be able to get in and out of traffic is one thing that I really, really picked up on when I was watching him play this year. I mean, watching him play through training camp. And he told me then, he said, Sarge, when I come to the line, I don't see anything, but I'm looking for the hole. I don't know who is where, what. I don't look at all of that. I'm trying to find the hole, get through the hole, get in the hole, and then get out as much as I can into the open field. And that reminded me a lot of Joe Mixon, right? Because Joe Mixon said the exact same thing. Joe Mixon said that what makes him such a good running back is, he said, I run in darkness until I see the light. And at first I was like, wait a minute, hold on. What do you mean you run in darkness until you see the light? He said, when I get the ball, and let's just say the play is supposed to go to the right. He said, if I'm going to the right, I'm going to the right. But if I see any sign of light back to the left, I'm cutting back and getting through there. He said, so I run in the darkness until I see the light. And that's one of the exact same things that Jawar Jordan does. He says, I don't see anything but where I need to be and how I can get there. And just like Woody Marks, he's one of those running backs that can stop on a dime and cut back. He's shifty. He's elusive. Now, he's not as stout as far as his stature is concerned. Hold on, y'all. Hey, Miss Make Me Sick. Bye, Miss Make Me Sick. Bye. It was fun while it lasted. Not finna come on my channel and act like that. No, you get put out. Yeah. Oh yeah, I banned her. She ain't gonna come up in here, even if it. All right, look. Let me take that back. I don't know what that person identifies as. Let me be politically correct as I can. And look at that, Alexis. You seen I was nice. I digress. But yeah, so I really, really liked what Jawar Jordan did on Sunday, the way that he played on Sunday. And hopefully, if he gets an opportunity and a chance to play, if he gets an opportunity and a chance to play against the Raiders on Sunday, he'll have another opportunity to show what he can do on the football field. It was really good. Like I said, I think that him and Woody Marks is one of those just call it an it. You can't be wrong. Dang, Brandon. I'm interested to see how him and Woody Marks, have that 1-2 punch, and that could be something that they could use heading into, if they make the playoffs this season, heading into the postseason, something that they could do, because they're both kind of like that change of pace, trying to kind of back. What's up, Queena? What's up, Miles and that yak? What's going on? So with that being said, though, I was really, really, I was really, really proud of, Jawar Jordan and him making the best of his opportunity. And somebody said earlier in the chat, they brought up Jamal Hill, and I had an opportunity to speak with him as well. I was for his first game back, he made a very, very strong impression. And if you go back and you look at what happened after that hit, and I'm not talking about the Dare Ogunbowale recovery. I'm talking about when he's running toward the sideline. Go back and look and see who's right there to celebrate with him. Go back and look and see who's right there to celebrate with him. You'll see Kamari, because they all sit next to each other. It's Jamal Hill, Kalen Bullock, and Kamari Lassiter, and they three P's in the pod for real. But go back and look, and you'll see how excited his teammates were. How excited his teammates was for him. And I remember before he got hurt, I think that's the game that they had gave up. Which game was that, y'all? That was it Jacksonville that they gave up the punt return? Hey, chat, let me know. It was Jacksonville. I think they gave up the Jacksonville game is when the special teams gave up. Is a punt return, right? Is it a punt return or kickoff return? I just remember it was a return. And so when I had an opportunity to speak with him after the game, he said, "Sorry, we just messed up." He said, "We just messed up and I messed up." Thank you. I appreciate that, Omar. He said, "We just messed up." He said, that's on me. He said, because I should have been able to make that tackle. Thanks, Queena. I should have been able to make that tackle. I should have. I should have. It's on me. That's all he said. He kept saying it's on me. So when I had an opportunity to speak with him on Sunday in the locker room, I asked him, how good did it feel to be able to make up for that mistake that you said that you had in the Jacksonville game? And he said, it felt good, Sarge. It felt good, especially for it to be my first time back on the field. First time back on the field in a very long time. And so it's one of those things where, man, so those two guys that I have been, raving about, Togiao too. One of those guys that I had been raving about. I told y'all these guys, like the Houston Texans, if once they get their offensive line together, they're going to be a really, really hard team to compete against if they are able to keep their core together. Because of course, it's going to come a time where it's time to pay these people, and then when it's time to pay them, you got to make sure that so you may lose some, you may keep some. It just depends on how they're able to work some of these salaries out. And so, but if they can keep that core together, they'll be damn good. They'll be damn good. Oh, I know y'all seen the go look at Cole Thompson. Hey, first of all, shout out to my boy Cole Thompson, who is the editor over at Texans Wire, but now he also has a show, a sports show in the morning on Sports Talk 790. He co-hosts with another guy over there. I can't think of his name right now, but I think that Cole is on from 6 to 10. And if you get an opportunity and you get a chance to support Cole, please support Cole, because Cole is one of the good ones. He's one of the good ones. He's very smart when it comes to football. He's super intelligent when it comes to college football, and especially the SEC. But Cole knows what he's talking about, even if Larry and staff would be giving him a hard time. But I turned to Cole. Go look at his page, the tweet from yesterday that he tagged me in, because I want to say in the first quarter, I turned to Cole and I said, Cole, Jalen Noel is going to have a big run today. I said, he's going to have a big run. And he looked at me and he said, okay, Sarge, we'll see. And then when he did it, when he had that big run, I said, I kind of told you that. I kind of told you that he would. And so anyway, as I digress, they had a very good game on yesterday. Hey, Sarge, are you back doing the happy hour? I work nights and can catch the early morning shows now. Yes. Now, let me say this. Let me give you all a heads up, okay? Let me give you all a heads up. A programming note. Wednesday, there probably is going to be an early morning show. I won't do an afternoon show because I'll be on the road headed to New Orleans. The Rockets play the Pelicans on Thursday. And so I will be in New Orleans Wednesday evening, Thursday, and then I'll be back on Friday. And I get an opportunity to see my granddaughters. They've never been to a professional basketball game before. And so their mother is going to bring them to the game. And, I get an opportunity to see them. But so programming note, there'll be an early show on Wednesday morning, and then after that I have to travel and go to New Orleans, and I'll be back on Friday, and I'll try to squeeze in a show for you all on Friday evening. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to this, man. So the Houston Texans defeated the hold on. Recap. The Houston Texans defeated the Arizona Cardinals by a score 40-20 on Sunday, and I can see why a lot of people aren't excited about the win. And what I mean by excited, like they're happy about the win. They're happy that the Houston Texans got the win, but they're not excited about it because this is what the Houston Texans should do to a team like the Arizona Cardinals. This is what the Houston Texans should do to a team like the Arizona Cardinals. And I know that DeMeco Ryan said on Monday that there's a lot of things that the defense has to clean up. And that's true. The defensive player said that too. You know, they felt like they gave Trey McBride entirely too many opportunities. That they gave him entirely too many opportunities. But Trey McBride is good. And they gave him his props, though. They say, hey, he cold. He is cold. Somebody say, hey, man, if you're a white guy with a name like Trey, you better be cold. And he say, think about it. Trey McBride, Trey Hendrickson. Like, they Trey McBride showed out yesterday. I think, what did he have, y'all? I don't know how many catches, but I think, what did he have? 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's the only thing that they had. And I see Alexis says, I was pissed giving up 20 points to them. You know what? And I understand that. But I think that because if you go back and you look, the Houston Texans, with 4 minutes left in the third quarter, they were up 30-7. And when you're not in that high intensity one score games, and like, don't get me wrong, that defense plays to compete on every play, but it is kind of different. You know, it's a different type of calls that you make. It's a different type of substitution pattern that you make when you're up that big. Maybe Will and Daniil won't play as much. Maybe you don't, maybe you're just trying to make sure that they don't move the sticks like that. And because when they lock in, they lock in. But when you're up that big, when you have that big of a lead, it's kind of hard to keep that fire and intensity going. And what I mean by that is, compared to these one-score games that they've been in, and it was just good for them to be able to have the type of game that they had on yesterday. They still have the number one defense as far as scoring is concerned. I think yards allowed. I think on Sunday was the first time they've given up. They've given up 225 yards or more passing this season. And when you get up on a team that big, that early, of course, they're going to come out and they're just going to, you've seen he is trying to, Jacoby Brissett, the Arizona Cardinals quarterback, is just trying to get them back in the game, right? And so I understand the defense, gave up 20 points for the first time in a long time. And so, and like you said, maybe they shouldn't have given it up to a team like that. But when you're up that big, I mean, you think about it, right? Second play of the game. The second play of the game, Nico Collins goes 57 yards for a touchdown. Hey, Sarge, I'm glad you brought that up. Like I said, on Tuesday, we'll do a breakdown, right? We'll do a breakdown. But I want you all to know something. I want you all to know this, right? Let me check that off, Nico. For those of you all who are saying that Nick Caley isn't evolving, for those of you all who say that Nick Caley isn't evolving, I think that there was some plays on Sunday that you can't say. And just like Queena said, the red zone offense is atrocious, though. It's mad. It is. They were in the red zone, I think, 6 times. They came away with 3 touchdowns and 3 field goals. And, I think that if you ask any coach, though, that if you ask any head coach how good it feels not to punt until the fourth quarter, if you ask any NFL head coach that, I think that he'll tell you, I think that my offense is doing a damn good job. They didn't punt until Tommy didn't touch the field until the fourth quarter. And they just constantly kept scoring, kept doing what they needed to do. And even if it only resulted in 3 points, you're still getting points. You're still getting, you're still getting points. And those points, are very important. We've seen throughout this season in the NFL how important, getting points inside the red zone is. And so, while yes, I know that a lot of Texans fans would love to see more touchdowns, but if you're getting those type of scores, then cool. So yes, Nick Caley does need to improve on his red zone offense. They need to improve on that. That's something that they've talked about. But what I liked about what Nick Caley did to start the game, if you go and you look at that second play of the game, what these defenses have started to do, and I hope that Nick Caley does this a little bit more. What Nick Caley did is what Jason Garrett used to do when he was the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys and he had Terrell Owens. I know y'all don't want to hear about the Cowboys, but I'm just using that as a frame of reference. When they first got T.O., he never really allowed defenses to set up finding out where he is. And if you go and you look at that second play of the game, that 57-yard pass, touchdown pass from Stroud to Collins, he's in the slot. If you go and you look, Nico is in the slot. He's not on the outside. I think on that right side is him in the slot, and Christian Kirk is on the outside. And so I want to see Nick Caley as time goes on and they playing more games and they get into the postseason. I want to see Nick Caley use Nico more like that, like how Jason Garrett used to use T.O. the first year they got T.O. Hey, bring him out of the backfield, put him in motion, let him come out of the slot, let him be, go trips right or trips left or however. Just don't allow the defense to set up and bracket him. Because even CJ said that there was some times that I probably could have got the ball to Nico more. He said, but I want to make sure that we made the right play. He said, I could have forced some of the things into Nico, but I want to make sure that I made the right play. And that's exactly what he did. And so, but I like what Nick Caley did by putting Nico in the slot. Now, I haven't went back and I haven't looked at how many times Nico was in the slot. I'll have that for you on Tuesday's show. But I like that that's how they did it. And one of the things that I'm noticing when it comes to CJ Stroud is Nick Caley is playing to his strengths. And what I mean by playing to his strength, CJ, when he has the time and he can see the whole field, like he is really an asset. Even when he's able to get out on the perimeter as well, he's seeing the field a whole lot better. And what Caley is doing is he's using the middle part of that field he's using that middle part of the field to play towards CJ's strength. CJ can throw people going, in breakers is what they call. CJ can throw wide receivers open on those end breakers. CJ sees the middle of the field very, very well. And he sees the outside too, but he sees that middle of the field when he drops back and he has the time and he has a pocket and he has the protection and he has the time to be able to scan. He's bam, bam, bam. He can dot you up on the inside and then to open it up on the outsides. And so, like I said, I like what Nick Caley did by putting him in the slot position and getting him the ball early. Now, you got to find ways to get Nico the ball more throughout the game, and especially what I would have liked to see done in the Cardinals game is this is a game where you feed him, let him know, hey, look, let him touch the rock, let him touch the rock then. And then you go into the Las Vegas Raiders game and you let him touch the rock more. Now he's so used to touching the rock, and you've got the Chargers looking at this and saying, oh yeah, they get Nico the ball as much as they can. They're force feeding Nico the ball, and you give him those type of touches against some, I don't want to call them stellar defense. I mean, less than stellar defenses, but the Cardinals defense, and now you're getting ready to play the Las Vegas defense, the Raiders defense, who, man, they got blew out yesterday, 31-0. God, to the Eagles of all people. They got beat 31-0. Y'all know they only, hold on. Side note. Hey, y'all know that the Raiders offense only generated 75 yards of total offense? 75 yards of total offense. If the Eagles defense is able to do that to the Raiders offense, then I'm curious to see how that Texans defense is going to play against them next Sunday at NRG. So, like I said, man, I was happy to see Nick Caley move Nico around. Nico also became the Nico is the third wide receiver, I think, in Texas history to have 3 consecutive 1,000 yards receiving seasons. And one of the reasons why, and I tell this story all the time, but I'll tell it again. One of the reasons why that stands out so much, Nico having these 1,000-yard receiving seasons, is that there was a time where some fans called what is this? I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all give me a second. Where all these weirdos coming from today? Got a lot of weirdos. What's up, Sean Super Tech? You're not a weirdo, but there's a lot of weirdos popping up in the chat today. But a lot of people were ready to give up on Nico Collins. And I think it was the season that he got hurt and missed the end of the season. I think that was when Brandon Cooks was here. I think his locker was next to Brandon Cooks. And like I said, I tell this story all the time. This is Brandon. Hey, y'all, chat, help me out, right? Help me out, chat. Brandon Cooks last season was Lovie Smith's last season, right? Like after Lovie Smith, that was right. I'm trying to think. If I'm not mistaken, it was. Anyway, Nico said, I'm gonna show them. I'm going to show them what I can do. And in his last 3 seasons with CJ Stroud at the quarterback position, hold on for a second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Truck Visor app. You probably should change your name to Lot Lizard because that's probably what you are. Instead of calling yourself Truck Visor, you should call yourself Lot Lizard. It's only 20 people in the chat. They're all weirdos. Calling people who watch you weirdos is why there's only 20 people in here. That's not right. Look here, you Lot Lizard. I'm trying to be a better person and a better Christian over this next month. So all I'm going to say is thank you, God bless, and good night. I don't think y'all understand. I will block you. I don't care. I don't get paid off the like, the retweet, the reshare. Hey, look, and I'm not struggling for friends. I will block you. I don't need you in here. Listen, I'm going to be this way, whether there's 20 people or 20,000. You're still going to get a quality show. And for the record, there's more than 20 people. But hey, Lot Lizard, whatever you say. Back to talking football. Nico Collins has been very, very productive over these last 3 seasons. And I think that going into the postseason, I think this is where you may see, because Dalton Schultz, what did Dalton Schultz have? 7 catches on yesterday for what, like 86 yards? 7 catches, touchdown. Oh, wait, 1 minute. Give me 1 minute, y'all. Let me write this down. Give me 1 minute. Schultz touchdown. Give me 1 minute. I gotta say this. Let me veer off the path of talking about Nico for a second. So on Monday, right? On Monday, during the press conference, I asked, I thought you were making content just for me. I'm selfish. On Monday, I asked D'Amico Ryans about, okay, let me take y'all back, right? God dang it. Hey, for the people that's watching me on the people that's watching me on TikTok, I apologize. Somebody, y'all gonna have to teach me how to stream here as well as here. I don't know how to do the multiple platforms just yet. So somebody gonna have to teach me. I really want to be able to incorporate you all into these type of things in 2026. But I've got to do this. I'll walk you through it, but I've got to do this. Hold on for a second. Here we go. I want to show you all something. And look, I know I said we were going to do this Tuesday, but I'm going to do this right now. I have to I have to digress just a little bit. Let me see something right quick and make sure this is it. I think it is. Yes. Okay. All right, let me get back here. Okay, y'all, we're about to look at something. I'm about to share my screen real quick because, and I didn't plan on doing this, but I had to because I want to talk about CJ, and I want to talk about CJ's decision making, and I want to talk about the way that CJ has played over the last 3 games. But I want you all to see something, and what I want you all to take a look at is, hold on. What I want you all to take a look at is this play right here on this. This is the Dalton Schultz touchdown. I think this is the touchdown that made the score 30-7, if I'm not mistaken. This was the touchdown in the 3rd quarter. So as you're seeing, right, CJ comes under a little pressure. He gets out to his left. You see Dare is right there. He could have probably dumped the ball off to Dare. He could have probably ran the ball in if he cuts back behind the defender. But when Dalton Schultz uncovers, he finds him. Let's look at it from a different angle. See that? CJ gets out. He gets out. Dare has a step on his on the defender that's holding him. He probably could have got the ball to Dare. If he stops right here, let me go back right here. If he stops right here with the defender and the momentum going there, if he stops, he could turn the ball upfield and probably score. But look what he does. He sees Dalton right there, and he throws the ball to Dalton. Let's look at it one more time from a sideline view. All right, so CJ comes. You see Dalton. CJ gets out. Dalton sees CJ start to scramble, and he breaks out to give CJ a target. Like I said, once again, for those of you all watching, he could have hit Dare here. He could have ran the ball in behind this defender that's following Dare, but he sees Dalton Schultz uncover, and he passes him the ball. Let's look at it from a TV view real quick.
Stroud will get out of it. Throws on the move. Touchdown, Texans. Dalton Schultz.
Now, you're probably wondering to yourself, hey, Sarge, why are you showing us that play? Need to get a keyboard for my TV so I'm not just watching on my phone so I can talk shit. You're probably asking yourself, Sarge, why are you showing that play, right? Why aren't you showing the 57-yard touchdown play? Why aren't you showing the Jawar Jordan 50-yard run? Why are you not showing some of the other plays throughout the game? We're going to do that on Tuesday. But one of the reasons why I showed you that was the decision making by CJ to get the ball out of his hands and find the open wide receiver. 1, 2, the way that those wide receivers and tight ends and running backs are in sync with CJ once he scrambles out of the pocket. But 3, and this is the most important thing, right? CJ could have selfishly ran that ball in. He could have, like I said, he could have probably threw it to Dare, led Dare, or he could have stopped and ran the ball in. Dalton Schultz is wide open. You know what that tells Dalton? That CJ didn't take the rushing touchdown and threw him the ball. That tells Dalton that he still is thinking about me, letting me touch the ball, letting me get a touchdown, letting me score. CJ was very unselfish when it comes to that. He just said, "Hey, here, you touch the ball. I'm good with it. I'm gonna get this passing touchdown anyway, but here, you get the touchdown. You and not to build up the stats, but you're open. And if I see you open, I'm gonna get the ball to you, right? I'm gonna get the ball to you." And he got the ball to him. And I don't know if for those of you all who've played a team sport and know that if your teammate is thinking about you and getting you involved and keeping you involved like that means a lot. That means a lot when now when Dalton has to come back on the field and block. When Dalton has to come back on the field and he knows that the ball isn't coming his way, but he's still out there giving it his all. Like that means a lot for the confidence and for the camaraderie and for the team building of teammates like that. So I like the fact that CJ was unselfish and got the ball out of his hands and gave Dalton that touchdown. And so I say all that to say this. Hey, CJ Stroud over the last 3 games, 739 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 62.4 completion rate. 739 yards pass, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 62.4% completion rate. Like, I understand some people may not think that that's a lot, but what you're finding out now is CJ is starting to get more and more into a groove. CJ is starting to get to find himself more and more comfortable in this Nick Caley offense. And I wish he wouldn't have sustained that concussion in the Denver Broncos game, because I think if we're looking at where he is now, if he would have still been able to get those 3 games under his belt, I think that this offense would be on another level. But it was almost, and just like he said, it was almost like a restart for him to come back in and to come back into the game and come back after being injured and has to find some type of camaraderie and familiarity with his wide receivers again, get back on the same page that they were on. And side note, hey, Davis Mills did a hell of a job. He did a hell of a job in those 3 games holding it down while CJ was out. So I like what CJ is doing. I like that CJ is starting to find that niche and find that groove. I like that he's moving around in the pocket more. He looks like the old CJ. He looks like 2023 CJ when he's getting out, making these type of plays while he's out of the pocket, still keeping his head. One of the things that D'Amico said on Monday was CJ is keeping his head and his eyes downfield. He's still looking downfield, trying to find those wide receivers. And if he can give him just a little bit more time, he can find them when they uncover. And so I like that. And so, this game against the Raiders should give him another opportunity to build and get more acclimated to that Nick Caley offense, because they're definitely going to need it when they play the Chargers in 2 weeks. There's a lot riding on the line, especially if the Jacksonville Jaguars lose to the Denver Broncos on this upcoming Sunday. The Texans need to take care of their business against the Raiders, and when they're going into the Chargers game, that's going to probably be for some type of playoff seeding as well, because the AFC West is the AFC West, that's already done. I think that if I'm not mistaken, the Broncos have won 12 games in a row. The Kansas City Chiefs were eliminated. Okay. Let me say that one more time. The Kansas City Chiefs were eliminated from playoff contention on Sunday, and I feel bad for them. I feel bad. Hey, I'm with. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. Right. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. So I'm not rooting. I did not root, or I'm not happy that Patrick Mahomes got hurt. I don't want to see anybody get hurt like that and go out of the game. So no, I'm not. I'm not celebrating the fact that Patrick Mahomes got hurt. I'm just laughing because it looks like the Texans broke the Chiefs. It looked like the Texans, the Texans broke the Chiefs. Damn. Damn. Even when Patrick Mahomes is in a game, they looked terrible. And now you got Gardner Minshew to end your season. Sheesh. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. If I'm Travis Kelce, I'm being like, hey man, F this. I'm out. Oh, my hamstring. But we're just sitting in film right now, Travis. We're not even doing anything. My hamstring. I think I'm out for the season. I ain't gonna even lie to you. If I'm Travis Kelce, I'm not suiting up. Hell, if I'm Travis Kelce, I'm not even coming to the field. I'm sitting in the box with the future Miss Kelce, or however they're going to do it, because I always say it, right? So if I was Travis Kelce, right? If I was Travis Kelce, what I would do is I would change my last name to Swift. Which name holds more weight? Swift or Kelce? Swift or Kelce? Man, my name would be Travis Kelce hyphen Swift. They'd be like, hey, Mr. Swift, how you doing? Hey, how's it going? You good? How's Barbara and the kids? They okay? All right. See, hey, you got the Christmas gift I gave you, right? Like they gave you the Christmas gift. All right. Just saying. All right. Just saying. Mr. Swift, hello. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? Hell yeah, I'm changing my name. If I'm Travis Kelce, I'm getting married to Taylor Swift and changing my last name to Swift. Ain't no shame in it. I do it. Hey, yes. Hey, I thought your name was. So shouldn't her name be Taylor Swift Kelce? Right? It's like, no, her name is Taylor Kelce Swift. We're not losing that name. That name is way more famous than mine. I digress. Hey, if I'm Travis Kelce, I ain't no way. I'm not showing up to shit. I ain't showing up to no team meetings. I ain't showing up to practice. You listen, I would leave the equipment manager a note. Hey, bruh, go to my locker. Everything I took it's the same checklist from last season. It's the same exact checklist from last season. I took that checklist, went down it. All the stuff that you need is in my locker. All the stuff that you need is in my locker. You don't need nothing else from me, my guy. But Mr. Kelce, that's Mr. Swift to you. I'm trying to get used to it. Mr. Swift, there's still 3 more games left. No, there's still 3 more games for you. I don't even give a damn if they give me a game check. They can keep it, donate it, do something else with it. I'm not showing up. Patrick ain't here either. Wait, hold on. Patrick ain't here. Oh, my hamstring. It's like, but you're on Zoom. Oh, I think I pulled a groin. Look, I think I pulled a groin. Why you grab your shoulder? Oh, I'm hurt. I ain't coming back. Hell no, for what? Catch passes from Gardner Minshew. To catch passes from Gardner Minshew? If I'm Travis Kelce, you know what I'm doing? Hey, Jason, what's going on, bro? How's the retired life? So I got a couple of ideas for the show, right? I got a couple of ideas for the podcast, man. Just me. I'm thinking that, we could get, with Taylor's connection, we probably can get somebody, famous on her. You know who I think that we should have on the show? Matthew McConaughey. That's who I think. Jason, what do you think? Because I'm thinking Matthew McConaughey, because I like, all right. Yeah. All right, man. No, I'll see you this weekend. No, a game. Who got a game? Who? A game. Nah. Me and Taylor be by the house this weekend. Yeah. Yeah. All right. No problem. I'll tell Gardner Minshew you said what's up. No damn way. Ain't no damn way if I'm Kelsey, if I'm ever playing in another game ever again. I digress. CJ's playing. CJ playing a hell of. CJ had a hell of a last 3 games, and if he can keep it going, I think that you're going to see this Houston Texans team. So, okay, y'all tell me, y'all stop me if I'm wrong, right? Y'all stop me if I'm wrong. I'm the only one that feels like I'm the only one that feels like this is 2023 all over again. Like I'm the only one that feels that way. I can't be the only one that feel like this Texan season is just like 2023. I feel like it's going to come down to the last game of the season to decide who wins the AFC South. I feel like it's going to come down. The only difference is it's going to come down to the last game of the season, and Jacksonville will still get in the playoffs, but will they get in as a wild card or will they get in as the AFC South champions? And that's why it's that eerie feeling of 2023. Because in 2023, yeah, right, Brandon. That's what I was just about to say. In 2023, the Houston Texans went up to Indianapolis and they had a win or go home game against the Colts in week 18. And once again, we all know that Lucas Oil Stadium is the house that Nico Collins built. Like, so, I mean, Nico did what he did every time he goes up there. But when you look at it, all the Chiefs had, I mean, all the Jaguars had to do was win. And they would have won the AFC South and they would have gotten into the playoffs. But they lost to the Titans on that Sunday. Remember, the Texans played prime time that Saturday night. Hey, that's right, Texans Tangent. He said, difference is we will have multiple wide receivers still healthy. Exactly. But you remember, the Texans beat the Colts on Saturday, and they were waiting for the results of what the Jags were going to do to see where they were going to play. Then the Jags lost to the Titans, which made the Texans the AFC South champions, and they hosted a playoff game. They hosted a playoff game at NRG Stadium, and so it just has that same eerie feeling of 2023 all over again. And that's what I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see how they're going to do this. Like I said, CJ's playing good. Nico playing good. I want to see what Jawar's going to do. I wanted to say this too before I got ready. Hold on, y'all. Y'all give me a second. Let me drag that piece right there. There we go. Before I leave here, there's a couple of more things I want to address. Right. One, I think the reason why you see this microphone. I think that the reason why you see the Houston Texans defense playing the way that they've had, the way that they've have over this 6-game winning streak, they've cut down on the missed tackles. They've cut down on the missed tackles, and now everybody is making sure that they're wrapping up. And there's still going to be some here and there, but when you look at the Cardinals game, you know, they only had 5 missed tackles. In the Colts game, they only had 6 missed tackles. In the Bills game, they had 5 missed tackles. In Kansas City, they had 5 missed tackles. And so during this streak, you're looking at and seeing that they're starting to do a lot better job of tackling, of wrapping up, of securing whoever has the ball. And so I like that. I like the fact that they've cut down on their missed tackles. And if they can continue to stay on that trajectory of cutting down those missed tackles, but also, making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do on the back end as far as the coverage is concerned, like this defense can literally take this offense to the Super Bowl. And especially when you have no Joe Burrow, no Patrick Mahomes, you may see Lamar Jackson, but I think that with the way that their offense is struggling, that it could be, that I feel like the Texans could still beat the Ravens. I think that the toughest test for the Houston Texans will be if they have to go play Buffalo in Buffalo. And we've seen what they've been able to do Buffalo at NRG, but you know, Josh Allen is used to playing in that weather. Josh Allen is used to playing in that type of weather. We seen what he did 2 weeks ago. Um, we seen what he was able to do 2 weeks ago against the Cincinnati Bengals when they were down by 21 points and it came back. And I think it's past Sunday against the Patriots. Side note, hey Patriots fan, hey, pump your brakes. Y'all can't blow your load too quick. Some of y'all understand what I mean by that. I'm not gonna repeat it, but hey, Patriots fan, y'all got so happy when you got up 21-0. Y'all start tweeting and putting all this stuff out about how good y'all are and how bad the Buffalo Bills were, and then you lost. Then you lost. You got to pump your brakes, little daddy. You just can't jump out there and say, "Hey, this is what's going to happen. This is what we are. This is who we are." Well, you lost the game. You gave up a 21-point lead and you lost. And so I think that if they go up to Buffalo in that weather, that may be one of the toughest games that they have to play throughout the playoffs. And that would be a tough one. But I still see if this defense can take the Houston Texans to where they need to be. Like I said, with them cutting down on the missed tackles. Kamari Lassiter is a dog. Do I even need to say more? Kamari Lassiter is a dog. Like, I know it won't happen. But the Texans really have a case to have two all-pro cornerbacks this year. They have two all-pro. I didn't say Pro Bowl. If Kamari Lassiter doesn't make the Pro Bowl, then and I think that last year they left him off the all-rookie team, and I'm saying to myself, what? What? Are you serious right now? Okay. All right. So he just came back and he played better this year. And I know he gave up a touchdown on Sunday against the Cardinals. That was a hell of a throw and a hell of a catch. But he also had an interception and he had a backflip. And I was like, oh, all right. Kalen should have had another interception. I thought that he was going to be able to grab that interception. But Kamari Lassiter is a dog. And he's playing exactly the way that you thought that he would play. All right. I'm going to get up off of here, but let me say this, right? Okay. Some of you all are wondering why I made the video that I made and I put it out on social media. You're wondering why I put that early morning video out about Will Anderson Jr. You all are probably wondering where that came from, right? And so on Sunday, there was a tweet that went out by one of the local media guys here in Houston that said Will Anderson Jr. declined to talk to the media after the game. And I sat with that tweet for the time it was put out until early Monday morning before I got ready to go into the gym. Hold on, y'all. I told y'all, boy, I will get y'all up out the paint in a minute. So I kept looking at the tweet, and I kept looking at the tweet, and I kept looking at the tweet, and I'm saying, did he decline, or was he trying to make sure that he was okay? Don't get me wrong. When we came into the locker room, Will Anderson Jr. was in the locker room, but his eye was red. And if I'm not mistaken, Will got poked in the eye during the game. I seen him come to the sideline. He ran to the sideline, and as soon as he got on the sideline, he threw his helmet down, and they were looking at his eye. They kept looking at his eye, and they kept looking at his eye. And so they doused it, and then he went back in and he finished the game, right? And so, and I think even on Monday when I seen Will, his eye was still red, but Will didn't decline to speak. He had to make sure that his eye was okay. He had to make sure that he got the proper treatment for his eye. And that's why I put the video out, because it needed more context. It needed more context on people saying he declined, and he did not decline. Like, okay, if we're semantically speaking, if he says that I'm not talking to the media because I need to go get my eye checked, then semantically speaking, you could say he declined. But to say he declined without adding context to it makes it seem like he looked at us in the locker room and said, I ain't talking to y'all. I'm not talking to y'all. And that's not what Will Anderson Jr. did. That's not. And so I've heard some people, I've received some backlash from the video that I put out. And all I'm going to say is, if I had to do it all over again, I'd do the exact same thing. Because context matters. And if the tweet wasn't public, then I wouldn't have made a public. I wouldn't have made anything. I wouldn't have said anything public. The tweet was made public. So if you're tweeting without context, then I'm going to come in and I'm going to give the context. Because, and I'm only speaking for me and Sarge, never, ever, ever, ever had an issue with Will Anderson Jr. speaking. Never, ever, ever. And I think what needs to be added to this is, as Will got better, he started being pulled from multiple different directions to speak here and speak here and speak here and speak here. If you think that, let me say it like this. I can't remember one time. I don't remember one time JJ Watt talking at his locker. JJ Watt would come to the podium. He didn't come to the podium every game, but he would come to the podium, or, he speak through the week at the podium, but Will speaks at his locker. And all I'm going to say is, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it as, I think that there just should have been, if the tweet would have said Will Anderson Jr. declines to speak to the media after declines to speak to the media because he's getting treatment for injury he sustained during the game, then I've been like, yeah, that's cool, because that's exactly what happened. But it's not what happened. I mean, that's what happened. That's not what was tweeted. And so that's why I did it. That's why I added the context of why Will Anderson Jr. did not speak. I'm pretty sure that this week Will will probably speak Wednesday or Thursday in the locker room, like he always does. He speaks in the locker room. On the road, will speak in the locker room. I said this on the video. I'll say it again. In Indianapolis, he was one of the last people to make sure that we were able to talk with him, and he spoke in Kansas City. Some people had an opportunity to speak with him. He did not speak. There was no cameras or anything around his locker, because everybody was around Petrie's locker. It was Petrie, Bullock, Kamari, and Stingley, and everybody was talking to them, and it was just like they were. It was like the honey pot of content right there. Like you didn't want to leave. Kalen did his interview, then he was in Kamari's interview, and then he was in Kamari's interview, then he was in Petrie's interview, and he was in Stingley's interview, and then after those guys got through talking, the locker room was starting to clear out a little bit. Tommy Togiao had a bunch of people around his locker. Nico, like there was a lot of people. Will didn't decline to speak with us in Kansas City. It was just everybody was everywhere else. And I mean, you think about it. You're talking to Jalen Petrie, who had one hell of a interception with that tip pass to himself. He had the big hit. You know, Kamari had an interception. Kalen played the way that he played. Stingley played the way that he played. And so all I'm saying is that there should have been more context added to why Will did not speak on Sunday. That's all. I would have never made the video if the context would have been added. But I don't want it to be, I've told you all this from the get-go. Hey, look, I'm always keeping 100 with you. I'm always staying 10 toes down. I'm always going to say what needs to be said. And I'm always going to make sure that I can give you all as much context as I can and give you all the truth and tell you as much as I can. Sometimes I can't tell you things because some things are not privy to the public. It has to stay in-house. But because that tweet was made public, I wanted to make sure that I said something publicly. Now, with that being said, last thing I have for you all. Hey, so Mario Edwards is out for the season with a torn pec. That's what D'Amico Ryan said on Monday. And it's crazy because I seen Mario this morning. I talked to Mario in the locker room. I did not know that. And yeah, he's hurt. He's out. So I also seen Tim Settle Jr. today on one of those little scooters. I said, hey, man, where your rims at for this thing? And he said, hey, man, I just got the oil change, so we're going to have to wait on the rims. But I'm saying that to say that it's a good thing that the Houston Texans make sure that they have a plethora of defensive linemen that they can rotate, because you're going to see these guys get more and more, opportunities to do to come in, step in, and play. It's almost like a plug and play for them, especially when you have, because people don't realize this, but like Danico Autry can play inside or he can play outside. And so if you got Danico Autry on the field, Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter on the side of Sheldon Rankins, that's a disruptive force. But if not, we've seen what Tommy Togiao has been doing. And so I think that with that being said, I think they're going to be okay. As far as that defensive line unit is concerned, especially with the way that those outside edge rushers rush. And as long as you just need somebody to be able to contain the inside, as long as they're able to contain the inside, then you should be good. Hold on for a second. I just realized what time it was. Hold on. Oh, yep, I knew it. Okay. Be safe. I had to make sure that I knew my wife had texted me. All right. I'm about to get ready to get up out of here. For those of y'all who live in that's a good question, Tony. Cause I think he is. Wait, hold on. I think that he is. I think he is. I want to find out. Uh yeah, they're gonna miss Edwards. He does play with intensity, but I do believe that it's been a whole hour and 15 minutes. You got to go back. You got to listen to the top of the show. For those of you all don't know, this young lady right here is the mother of the young man who showed out for the Houston Texans on Sunday. This is the mother of running back Jawar Jordan for the Houston Texans. Hello, Miss Jordan. Oh my goodness. So, now that you're here, oh, it's okay. Look, now that you're here, Miss Jordan, let me go ahead and say this because I was saving this until you got on. Let me say this. So I talked with your son today, right? I talked with your son today. I asked him, what was his mindset going into this game? And he said that I had the same confidence that I have. He said, I had the same confidence that I have going into every game I've ever played with. He said, and I talked with my family, I talked with my mom, and I told her, I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna do my best, and I'm gonna let the rest of the league see that I can play and that I belong in this league. And he dang sure did that. He dang sure did that. And for him to be able to overcome the adversity that he's been through these last couple of years with the Houston Texans, as far as being in like that running back room was overcrowded. Like, so let me just go ahead and put some context in it. It wasn't that Jawar Jordan wasn't getting playing time because of his skill set, because of his ability. They had an overcrowded running back room. Remember last year, it was, they had DP, they had Damian Pierce in there. It was Joe Mixon. It was Dare Ogunbowale. It was Jawar. It was, who else was on there? British Brooks. I know that I'm missing somebody, one or two people. Anyway, and then this year you got, there's no Mixon, but there was Woody Marks, there's Nick Chubb, there was Damian Pierce, there was Dare Ogunbowale, there was British Brooks again, and there was Jawar Jordan, and then they brought in another running back. Before Jawar beat him out uh, beat him out last week. And so it was one of those things where it wasn't enough football to go around. It wasn't enough football to go around at the time. And even this year, it wasn't enough football to go around. But, for those of you all who want to leave right now, because I'm about to say something spiritual, right? I'm about to say something spiritual. And if you're not a spiritual person, I hope this doesn't offend you. I hope it doesn't offend you. And if you want to leave right now, I definitely understand. Thank you for joining the show. But I'm going to say this because I am a spiritual person. I'm a spiritual person. So the for those of you all who are believers, right? For those of you all who are believers, you know that God's timing is always the perfect timing, right? And I'm going to show you what Miss Jordan just said. It happened when it was supposed to. Exactly. God's timing is always the right time. And so he may have had to, deal with the adversity that he went through to get him to the place that the place that he is now, as far as having the game that he had. I mean, he not only did he have a career day for himself, but I mean, he broke, I think some of the Texans rookie records is for, I mean, not rookie records, some of the Texans records for debuts So, but it was the right timing for him. And if you've ever met him or if you ever talked to him, he always keeps a smile on his face. He never ever lets anything really get him down because he is a strong believer. I think that CJ said that in his press conference on Sunday about him, saying that he is a believer in Christ, and he, just always look at the positive. And so, you know, if he gets another opportunity to be able to be out on the field, he's going to take advantage of that. And I'm saying that from a person who has talked to him for 2 years. I mean, when I put it like this, he got cut, I think in October. Was it October he got cut so they could bring somebody else in? And then they brought him back and placed him on the practice squad. And when they brought him back, he didn't have no animosity. He didn't have nothing. He wasn't mad. He wasn't at least not when I talked to him. He wasn't mad. He was just like, it's just the trials and tribulations that I had to go through, Sarge. It's a business too. I remember that it's a business, and I just got caught up in part of the business. He said, but man, I mean, this organization has been great to me. This organization gave me an opportunity. And even when, they told me that they, was doing what they was doing, I wasn't mad. I just said, okay, thank you. I understand. And I just prayed. He said, I prayed, I talked with my family, and I just stayed positive. And then they brought me back. And you see, so they brought him back, and he was able to do what he did on Sunday. So, big up, shout out to that young man. Hopefully, he gets another opportunity to play in some more games this season. I know that when Nick Chubb is back healthy, that is going to take some of his carries away. But until then, he's going to take advantage, full advantage of his opportunities. And before I leave this show, all I'm going to say is this. Well, wait a minute. Appreciate it, TikTok. I talk to y'all in 2 and 2. Ooh, that was good. All I'm going to do is I'm going to end the show like this. I told y'all. I told you during training camp. I told you that young man could play. I told you that young man could ball. I told you. I know somebody put up there today. I was just waiting on the big Sarge. I told you so video. You got dang on right. Because there is some people out there that think that I don't know football, and I just laugh at. I be like, that's cool with me, bro. I'm okay with that. I know. I know that I know football. I know that I know talent. I know talent when I see it. I know what I'm looking at, and I know who can do what they need to do and who isn't doing what they need to do. And I told you that that young man can play. Told you he could play. If you go back and you look at, he told me in training camp, after training camp, when I had a chance to talk with him. Because I talk to every day that locker room is open, I talk to him. Every day that he's in the locker room, I talk to him. We just chop it up. That's it. Oh, by the way, hold on before I get up off here. Hold on. Miss Jordan, if you still listen, I ain't never get my plate, though. I digress. He said, what I'm going through right now is something that I've been going through my whole football career. My whole football career is something that I've been going through. I've always had to prove myself. And he said, I ain't got no problem with that. I ain't got no problem proving it. I'll prove it when it needs to be proven. I'll do whatever it takes to prove it. And so, yeah. You've been tuning to Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter. Big Sarge Sports, the Z at the end. Follow me on the tick and the talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you subscribe to the Texans Tailgate Talk podcast on YouTube, all one word, Texans Tailgate Talk, and subscribe to Big Sarge Media on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports, the Z at the end. Because you know we do everything for the gram. And I got a little something special for y'all coming out on Big Sarge. Dang, well, I don't even know the name of my own website. Big Sarge Sports Media on BigSargeSports.com. Let me go ahead and make sure I got that. BigSargeMedia.com. God dang, it's been a minute. I got something special for y'all on BigSargeMedia.com that's coming out. And I think y'all gonna like it. Because those of y'all who read my story that I did on Ariante Ursery, the rookie left tackle who's out of Kansas City, Missouri. If you like that article that I wrote before they played in Kansas City, you really, really gonna like this one that I did on Kalen Bullock. I told y'all so. Big Sarge, I'm out.
Big Sarge.